Welcome back. In the last video, we explored some powerful features of AWS Comprehend, like detecting languages, extracting entities, and identifying personally identifiable information. But that was just the beginning. In this video, we'll check out what more AWS Comprehend has to offer. We'll look into advanced text analysis features that can help uncover deeper insights from text data. As before, we'll be using Python to interact with AWS Comprehend, and everything is already set up. So let's jump right in and see it in action. So let's continue. In the previous video, we have already seen a few of the features that AWS Comprehend has to offer. And now let's talk about something even more fascinating, which is understanding emotions in text through sentiment analysis. So we'll be checking out the sentiment analysis feature offered by AWS Comprehend. And we'll start with a very simple example of a positive text. All right. So this is the text. I'll just print it out. Although it's visible already, but still fine. So this is the text, which is just a review of a new restaurant, and we already know beforehand that it is a positive comment. And the purpose of knowing it beforehand at the moment is just to test out how sentiment analysis works, all right, with AWS Comprehend. So we'll start with defining a variable to store the result. Then, using the object of the Comprehend detect class, I'll be calling the detect sentiment method. I'll pass in the text along with its language code, and I'll print the result. So you can see that the result is in the form of a dictionary. It's having two keys. One is the sentiment that tells us about the detected sentiment from the text. And then we have the sentiment score as well, which gives a breakdown of different kinds of sentiments that AWS's sentiment analysis feature looks for, along with the confidence scores for them. All right. So we could see that AWS Comprehend processes this text and assigns a sentiment score, detecting it as positive with a high confidence level, which is 99.98%. So the confidence with which the model has predicted the sentiment of this text is very high. All right. Then we'll check out a negative one as well. Okay. So this is a negative sentence, and we'll again just run it through the detect sentiment method. Okay. And the model predicted it correctly, which is negative, and you can see that there is no lag. Basically, the result is almost instantaneous. Okay, so speed is very impressive. And then let's just try out with another text, a slightly longer one, and that would be the one which we used earlier as well, which is an excerpt from the news. Okay. So this is a part of a news article, and I'll be now passing it to the detect sentiment method. All right. So this is the result, and it has identified this news piece as neutral. All right. Now this is one way to look at the result. We know that the sentiment is neutral, but we can also view it in a manner which is visually pleasing to the eyes. All right. So I'll just pass in the result to this function, and it will give us a pie chart giving us a breakdown of different kind of sentiments that it has recognized in the piece. Okay. So the text is largely neutral, but with very small confidences, it also, identified a few negative and positive streaks in the text as well. Okay, so you saw that this is a slightly larger text. So there is one thing that we should note in here, that Amazon Comprehend has a limit on the length of text that can be passed for sentiment analysis, and also the other features as well. All right, so it's just not limited to sentiment analysis, but also to entity detection, and then to the personal information as well, and the subsequent coming one also. Okay, so here the limit varies from the different types of views that we can take from Comprehend. So basically, if we are using synchronous API calls, the maximum input size is 5000 bytes. And if we are using batch operations, each document must be within 5000 bytes, and the batch size should not exceed 25 documents or 1 MB of total size. And if the operations are going to be asynchronous, okay, then we can analyze larger text data sets stored in AWS S3 bucket. So this is something that we should be mindful of. But generally, the comments and the reviews on social media handles and various platforms are having a certain length to them, so it's not going to be an issue when we are dealing with a large number of text, when we deal with these kind of scenarios on a daily basis. All right, so AWS's sentiment analysis can be used for analytics pretty well, because in general, businesses receive tons of feedback in terms of product reviews, social media comments, customer support emails, but manually analyzing whether these messages are positive, negative, or neutral can be exhausting, and that's where AWS comes in. All right, so just think about it, how useful this is. Like, companies can instantly gauge customer satisfaction, monitor brand reputation, or even analyze employee feedback at a very large scale, and that too very quickly. All right, so let's just try out a few other texts spanning in different languages, just so that we can see the performance of the sentiment analysis with other texts also. So I already have a few texts that I used in the previous use cases, so let's just try out with them only. Okay, so the third text, this is in Spanish, so let's just pass it in here. The language code for it would be ES, short for Espanol. All right, so here also, like, there's no lag even if the language has changed. We'll try it out with another one, which is in Arabic. All right, so let's go ahead with that. I'll just pass in this text here as Arabic. You can see it also recognized as neutral. Like, those are just random texts that I've used. So let's just try it out with another one. Okay, this time around I'll just pass it directly. So this is the text, which is in Hindi. So I'll be writing a chai, and you can see that the sentiment has been analyzed as mixed, because initially it is talking initially in the sentence it is talking a little bit positively, and then it says something which is negative. So it's basically a 50-50 kind of thing going on in this sentence, and that's why it has been identified as mixed review. All right, so now we have seen how the sentiment analysis works with the AWS Comprehend, and now we can move on to the next exciting capability, which is key phrase extraction. So we'll start with this sentence. I'll print it here. All right. So this is the sentence we'll be using to test out this use case. All right. So again, I'll be calling the detect key phrases method in here. I'll pass in the text. I'll pass in the language code, and then we'll get the result. All right. So here, when we run this through AWS Comprehend, it extracts key phrases out of it. All right. So you can see that we have the confidence score, then we have the phrase which is passed to us in text, and then we have the beginning and end offset of it as well. All right, we have already discussed what this offset means in the first video. So these are the key phrases that have been identified in here. So you can see Amazon Comprehend is one key phrase that stands out. Then a natural language processing is also something that stands out into the sentence. Then we have insights and relationship, service, machine, and all those things. Like basically looking at the list of these key phrases, we can understand like what the text is about, right? So coming to the question, like what does this exactly do? Well, instead of analyzing the entire text, this feature picks out the most important phrases, the ones that really carry a meaning. This is super useful for summarization, indexing, or even quickly understanding what a document is about, right? So it's just like skimming through a document and only looking at the important aspects of it, right? So we can print it in a better manner as well. For example, we'll just print the text. Sorry. Yeah. So these are the key phrases that have been identified from this sentence. All right. So now let's try it with another example. All right. So the next example is going to be the sentence. All right. So we'll just pass it here. Or let's just print out the key phrases only. Oops, sorry. Yeah. So in this particular sentence, Comprehend analyzed it and it has extracted some key phrases which are amazing camera, long lasting battery, and sleek design. All right. So the sentence is talking about a smartphone, and whatever is the highlighting there about the phone have been identified as key phrases. All right. This is extremely useful in real world scenarios where we can think of customer feedback. Businesses can quickly identify common themes like poor customer support or fast delivery, right? Like it could be like tags or relevant search terms related to the text that can be identified in there. And it could also find its use in research papers where key concepts can be extracted without manually scanning through pages of content. So the possibilities of finding its use are endless. It could find its use in, as we've already discussed, customer feedback. It can also find its use in news and media monitoring, where journalists and researchers can analyze news articles to quickly identify trending topics and key subjects. It can be used in healthcare and legal documentations as well, where it could just summarize medical reports and research papers, or it could just extract, clauses from legal documents and all that. So these are some of the use cases where it could find its use. Obviously, the list is not exhaustive and we can get as creative as we want. Now, let's just take a look at the sentences in different languages just to see how it works with multilingual texts. So here we have an Arabic sentence. I'll just right. So yeah, as expected, it works pretty smoothly with different languages also. So we'll just try out one more. Right. So here also I'll just copy and paste it from here. Yeah, you see, so it works pretty smoothly. So we can see how it automatically detects the most relevant parts of the text. And this can be super handy when processing large volumes of data, like scanning through customer feedback, reports, or articles to quickly extract the main ideas. So, and like not only just detecting key phrases, but everything that Comprehend has to offer works really well, can work really well with large volumes of textual data. All right, so Comprehend has these features that it offers. So so far in this video we have seen sentiment analysis, and we've also just now seen key phrase extraction. So now let's move on to another feature that is offered by Comprehend, which is detecting syntax. All right, so this is the next topic, detecting syntax from sentences. All right, so to see it in action, I'll pass a few sentences through Amazon Comprehend, and it will return the syntactic components for each word in the sentence. So let's start with a simple sentence. It is a very famous sentence. Okay, so this is the sentence, and now I'll be calling the detect syntax method, and I'll pass it in here, and I'll mention the language code. Again, I would like to emphasize that if, let's say, you are automating this workflow and you need to identify the language code, then in that case also, like, you can just simply extract the language code using the detect language function. Okay, so this is how you can do it. I have covered it in the first video, but let's just revisit it here. Right, so the detect language method in here gives you the language code. All right, you can just simply fetch it from here and pass it in here. Currently I'm doing it here manually. All right, so yeah, let's move ahead. So you can see here, this is the result. It's a list of dictionaries. So the token 1, which is the text the, which is the first word in the sentence, have been recognized as a determinant. All right, with a confidence score of 100%. All right, similarly, quick is identified as an adjective, and then brown is also an adjective in the part of speech, and so on. All right, so syntax analysis helps us understand the structure of a sentence by identifying different parts of speech such as noun, verb, adjectives, and more. This can be incredibly useful in applications like grammar correction, text analysis, and even AI-powered chatbots that need to process language accurately. All right, so this was a pretty simple sentence. Let's try it out with a complex one. So here is the sentence, and now I'll again pass it to the detect syntax method here. Pass in the text and the language code, and this is the result. Right, so we can see how each word is categorized based on its role in the sentence. Here we can see that rain has been identified as a noun and heavy has been identified it as its adjective. All right, So it works well with both the simple and the complex kind of sentences. Now let's try it out with different languages as well, because this too, like the other features, works with multiple languages. All right. So here I'll go with the sentence which is in Spanish. All right. So let's just copy, that would be faster. So I'll just change the text and also the language code, and then I'll just run it. And here we can see that L has been determined as a determiner. All right. Soul has been determined as a noun. Soul means sun, and L is the it corresponds to the word the in an English sentence. So we can see that it has identified the part of speech correctly and very quickly as well. All right. So let's just try out with another sentence. This is in French. All right. So I'll just again copy it here. Would be a bar. And here's the result. So this confirms that Comprehend can detect syntax across multiple languages, which is useful for multilingual NLP applications. It bridges the language barrier. All right. So every sentence we speak or write has a structure, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and more. And understanding this structure is crucial for many applications. As we have already discussed, it finds its use in grammar checking and also in AI-powered chatbot tools as well. And if we are to speak of more real-world applications, then it is particularly valuable in natural language processing tasks, such as machine translation or text-to-speech conversion as well, where understanding the structure of sentence is crucial. Then it can also be used in text summarization and information retrieval systems, where parsing sentence structures improves content extraction. So this kind of syntax analysis can be particularly useful in automated text summarization, grammar checking, and AI-driven translation tools. And just like that, we have successfully analyzed sentence structures using Amazon Comprehend. So with this information, AI models can better understand sentence structure, helping with the tasks like grammar correction. All right. So by detecting syntax, machines can process human language more effectively, making AI smarter and more intuitive. And also, like, one of the very important use case of it is in learning the grammar as well. All right, like not just correcting the grammar, but if somebody wants to create a platform where they want to indulge into the grammar aspect of languages, then this can be used as well. It would come in handy in those kind of scenarios as well. All right. So that brings us to the end of this video. We have explored how Amazon Comprehend can be used to analyze sentiments and to detect key phrases from sentences and to detect the syntax of the sentences in terms of like part of speech tagging, all using Python. Okay, but there's still more to cover. Amazon Comprehend also offers custom entity recognition and other customizable features that can be tailored to your specific needs as well. If you're interested in seeing those in action, let us know in the comment. And if you'd like to integrate these AI-powered text analysis capabilities into your own applications or workflows, feel free to reach out to Codersarts. You can contact us via email ID, which is contact@codersarts.com, or you can visit our website as well, which is www.codersarts.com. And you can also find our social media handles in the description box down below. Make sure to check out part 1 of this series if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more exciting content. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.